What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new review, I guess you could say, because I got the chance to check out Harley Quinn on DC Universe Season 2, Episode 1, a little bit early. I was meant to get this review up yesterday, but I was covering Westworld. But today is all about Harley Quinn Season 2. Now, this series is great. If you haven't checked this series out, trust me, you are missing out. It is absolutely hilarious. So if you haven't seen Season 1, this review isn't so much for you because you kind of need to see Season 1 to see this review. This isn't going into spoilers or anything like that, just in case any of you who have seen Season 1 are worried about that. But if you have seen Season 1, then this is the video for you because Season 2 is coming out in just a few days, 3rd of April. So before we get into this, guys, if you go on to enjoy this review, let me know what you're most looking forward to in Harley Quinn Season 2 and give a like on this video to show your support. But let's get into this. So, Harley Quinn Season 2, Episode 1, New Gotham. So if you thought Season 1 of Harley Quinn was good, then you ain't seen nothing yet, and that's just from what I've seen from this beginning Season 2 premiere episode. I mean, the premise for this season, if you can believe it or not, by the end of this episode sets up the rest of the season for more anarchy, more crazy times, with, as per the title of this episode, this new Gotham that from the events of Season 1's ending turned this city that makes Gotham's to all you Gothamites out there, no man's land of Season 5 look like a joke in comparison. And of course, as you could all probably guess, Harley is absolutely loving this new playground of hers. Now, with Season 1 obviously having Gotham City intact and giving this familiar Gotham-esque feel to the show, we had Harley continuously trying to prove herself and separate herself from the Joker with the stories that entailed across the first season. And the contrast with this second season is just so vastly different and only improves on Season 1 in every single way you would want it to or expect it to. With this somewhat, I guess you could call it, post-apocalyptic Gotham City, with, as I said, is familiar to the Batman No Man's Land vibe, but with this series a lot more of a crazier twist. And with that, just things are dialed up, as you can imagine, in this ruined Gotham City 1,000-fold. Now, without going too far into spoiler territory, as I know a lot of you guys will be wanting to experience this Harley-crazed driven episode for yourselves. In Episode 1 of Season 2, this new Gotham has not only changed the city from the perspective of a playing field for all of the villains, but all of the villains' goons as well. Now, of course, if you guys remember, in Season 1, the main drive for Harley was to separate herself from the Joker and establish herself as this villain, and she successfully did that by stopping the Joker by the end of this season. And this has inspired goons from across New Gotham City to follow in her footsteps and attempt to become their own villains to rival that of some of the most popular names out there. But obviously, as a result of this, you can all imagine that in this DC Universe animated world brings about some very entertaining moments from various goons splintering from the various gangs such as Penguin, the Riddler, and Two-Face into, I don't want to get into too much detail, but goons becoming their own villains. I'll just leave that to your imagination. Now, as for Harley and her gang, whether that's King Shark or even Ivy or whatever, they're somewhat pushed aside during this first premiere episode, only to set up this chaotic atmosphere that surrounds Gotham City and those characters within it to just kind of give you this idea of where things will follow throughout the rest of the season. But don't worry though, there's still plenty of hilarious moments between the characters that you would expect in Harley's crew in this first episode that will just kind of leave you looking forward to their continuing funny team dynamic as they go throughout this post-apocalyptic feeling Gotham City. And one thing I just always applaud this show on, I mean, I know obviously it's a comedy, but I don't always love comedy animated shows. You know, Family Guy or just whatever you want to say out there, like I enjoy those shows, but they don't always, I get the joke, but I don't always laugh. But with this show, Harley Quinn, almost if not every single joke or funny moment never usually fails to make me laugh. And with that, by the way, what was your most favorite or funniest moment in Season 1? I would love to hear your responses down in the comments below. And also with Harley and her gang being just a little bit less screen time this episode than what you would typically have in previous Harley Quinn episodes, this also allowed, as I mentioned with the setup of those other characters with the episode, to explore the formation of the Injustice Justice League, which highlights the several core members such as Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, as they can't stand the idea of goons running around like this and insist on a villain hierarchy to be in place in the new Gotham. Now, as usual, this iteration of Bane just always gets me. Like, I mean, he was one of my favorites, if not my most favorite villain of last season, with this kind of subtle, unintentional comedy and the other villains picking on him unbeknownst to him like all the time, and there's quite a bit of that in this first episode. And talking about the capitalization of other characters other than Harley and her crew in this episode leads me to another character that gets quite a bit of screen time during episode 1, and that is Jim Gordon, living in this no man's land, Gotham City, in a world seemingly without Batman, because if you guys remember at the end of last season, Batman kind of went missing. And if there's one thing that we know about Jim Gordon in season 1 is that he's quite the obsessive Batman fan. Now, I remember some people weren't too keen on this portrayal of Jim Gordon. I just remember reading some comments from my videos of last year, but to me, I just absolutely adore what they've done with Jim Gordon last season and in this episode, with my favorite moments last season surrounding the loneliness of this character and how he found that friend with the baby Clayface. I mean, even just thinking that makes me want to revisit that episode. Baby Clayface and Jim were just like the best pairing of that whole season. But the great part about it is that in season 2, episode 1, they managed to deliver on all of those same things I found hilarious about him, and it's just even better because here we have a Jim Gordon as he struggles to cope with maintaining order in a chaotic city like he did last season, but now obviously it's in a post-apocalyptic state and he doesn't know quite what to do with himself, and that naturally leads to some more hilarious Jimbo moments. Now, ultimately, with my impression of Harley Quinn season 1 is that it really does feel like this show has found such a recipe for success with the cast, the writers, and just everything that goes into making it. I think that this episode was a very good and strong start for this season. The plot for this season is great, with even other little seeds of plot such as Batman kind of cooking away in the corner, but I don't want to give away anything there, which just provides us other little tidbits of story and play among the main focus of the episode, with other things like Jim Gordon and just, well, other things I want to leave for you guys to find out about in the episode. All of the characters and their voice actors are on point as usual, from Kaylee Kuroko's Harley to Lake Bell's Ivy, of whom is definitely a fan favorite, and well, I love Ivy, but I'm pretty sure most of you do in this show. They're all fantastic, and I just really can't put it in any other way than that. And in conclusion, guys, if you're a fan of season 1, then this brings you everything you loved about that in this first episode, and then some even more, with its eccentric, kind of crazy fueled, no F's given comedy that this show just delivers is personally, to me, totally up my street, and I don't feel like at any moment that there is any sense of toning it down. Like, trust me, it goes above and beyond still to go absolutely wild with its, adult tone, to put it bluntly. And in so doing that, it just keeps capitalizing on what we loved about it, and that is through the creators of this show just embracing that mixing bowl of insanity they keep cooking up, because, we keep loving it, and I know people will come back for more, and, ultimately it just deserves nothing but every ounce of recognition and success it gets. And if you don't tune back in for season 2, then honestly, you are missing out. And if you haven't even watched season 1 and you're watching this video, then what are you doing? Like, seriously, I whether you're not a massive fan of animations, or you watch some animations, or you're not a fan of comic book animations, trust me, treat this like your typical comedy animated show, likened to that of like other things but Family Guy and things like that. But I would say much better, especially if you're into Batman and Gotham City and the comic book world anyway, or just DC Comics, because then you have your perfect blend of animated comedy show with some of your favorite characters, with even more of an edgy, hilarious, crazy fueled insanity vibe. It is really funny. I may sound like I'm really shilling this right now, but it's just coming from a place of how delighted I am with this show, because I'm one of those people who doesn't watch animations all the time, but I would easily take like 22-23 minutes, I think, an episode out of my day to watch this once a week, and it's coming April 3rd, guys, so make sure you tune in. You don't want to miss it. The first episode was a blast. Let me know what you're most excited about, guys. I know quite a few of you watched season 1. Some of you were doubting it, but I then remember getting comments on my season 1 review video that you really loved it. I will leave that in the cards above or on the end card of this video, just in case you haven't seen this show and you want to check out my season 1 review. Honestly, next to Doom Patrol, this is the best thing that DC Universe has going. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Titans fan, but in terms of like quality and entertainment and just, yeah, well, sheer quality over the flaws that Titans has and stuff, like this is one of the best things DC Universe has come out with. And one of the best products DC has come out with. I'm not joking when I say that. Take my word for it. Watch it. Other than that though, guys, if you made it to this point in the video, I'd really appreciate a like on it. It really does show your support for the content. I'm doing a few live streams at the minute, so make sure you keep an eye out for the channel on those. They're usually like every other day at the minute, especially during this kind of lockdown time. It's great hanging out with you guys, getting some more of you in the Discord server, which will be linked in the top pinned comment, by the way. Follow me on Twitter. That's about absolutely everything, guys. So thank you once again for hanging out with me today. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.